Welcome, I'm Izzy at Minerva. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Adjustoforms, which you can see behind me here. We're going to look at all 8 of them so that you can see really clearly our range that we stock here at Minerva, and each one does something slightly different. So we're going to talk through those differences today and also talk about how you can use them and the benefits of having an Adjustoform. Now here at Minerva, we have got 8 different varieties of the Adjustoform models, and we have got the full range available here. Each one comes with a different size range, but we'll get into those details a bit later. First of all, let's just talk about Adjustoform. So the brand Adjustoform have been around for over 50 years. They're based in Kent and all their products are sourced locally to the Kent area. So when you buy an Adjustoform, you know that it's all going to be locally sourced here in the UK. Now, when we see a mannequin in store in a shop window, those types of mannequins are just one set size. So the shop will buy a size 10 and they will model the size 10 garment and showcase it in the window. However, as a dressmaker, we know that all of our bodies are different sizes, and that we may be a size 10 on our bust and a 14 on our hips. And so one model that is just the perfect size 10 or the perfect size 16 is not necessarily going to reflect our body shape. And this is where the Adjustoform models come into play. One of the advantages of having an Adjustoform like this one here is that it is adjustable. So you can change the height of it. It's set on a pole form here, so you can change the height of it to match your body height beautifully. You can also change the width, so how wide the bust is, and it's got 4 different points that you can make those changes across the model. And the same for the waist and also the hips. So you've got a lot of opportunities to play around with the size in terms of the changes of your circumference. So you can match your bust exactly with what you need for your bust measurement, and then you can tailor your waist as well. So you simply just press the dials and move them out, and we'll just do the same increments for each one. And you can see that she's got wider as a result of those changes that we've just made. You can also change where the waistline is. So if you have your nape to waist measurement and you need a longer nape to waist than the one that's shown here, you can actually drop this section down. What this means is you get incredible accuracy with your fitting process. So if you make a dress and you're trying to fit it on your own body, it's quite hard to do that. Whereas if you've got an Adjustoform that is set up to your body measurements, it's really quite easy to fit and to see where the issues might be in terms of fit with your garment. It's also incredibly convenient to have an Adjustoform. It means that you don't need to ask for someone's help in terms of hemming or fitting, in terms of just does it need to come in a little bit or out a little bit. It's just incredibly convenient and really quick and easy. You can sew up your sample, pop it on and see what the general sort of shape is looking like, and that's really helpful with the sewing process. The Adjustoforms are fabulous because they're also really versatile. You can use them as your body shape is now. You can change them if your body shape changes, and also they can be used obviously for multiple users. So if you sew regularly for a range of people in your family or friends, you can use the Adjustoform to reflect their body shapes as well. So you don't have to keep asking them to pop back for fittings, because you can just use the model, set it to their body measurements, and off you go. One of the other benefits of having an Adjustoform is that if you really enjoy doing things like draping and playing about with shapes of garments and shapes of fabric as a garment, then you can really use the mannequin to start to evolve your design process. It's really lovely to see that in 3D rather than just drafting your own patterns flat on the table using your basic block. This is a really creative way to enable you to check how fabrics are draped, what they're looking like, where you might want to gather them, and the visual effect straight away. So you can sort of see it when it's not on your body but slightly set back, and it's just really nice to have a body model in order to be able to do that process. Having an Adjustoform really levels up your skills in terms of your sewing techniques, because you can really start to see where the fit issues are once you've got your own model, and you can take your time over it. It's not like you're fitting someone else in the room, and not like you're trying to fit yourself in front of the mirror. You can really step back and take a view and really sort of see how a garment is looking, and that will really change your sewing journey, because it's going to help you to really see and refine fit. Now, one of the final great things about the Adjustoform is that they come with these little hem guide tools. So this is a hem guide that you can raise and lower depending on what height you want your hem to be from your waist down, and you can just move it all the way around like that. So you can continuously get a consistent hem all the way around your garment. Now, this is one of the things that is really hard to do by yourself, so having an Adjustoform to help you with hemming your garment is really useful. So now we've looked at what the Adjustoforms do and how they can benefit you. Let's take a look at the 8 models that we have, so you can see the difference between them all and decide which one might suit your dressmaking purposes best. So we have got 8 models. You will notice down at the end down here, we've got a little junior one. Then we've got one male model, which is this one. And the rest of them are all female. So we've got a big range to talk through here in terms of having 6 different models. But let's take a look at the junior one first and move our way along. This one is our junior model, super cute. This one is suitable for an average sort of age of between 6 and 12. The size chart is going to drop below on the screen so you can see what that range is. What's really great about having the junior models, especially with that age range size, and being able to change it from a 6 to a 12, it's really versatile. It's going to last a good few years for each child, and it also means you can fit the garments that you're making whenever is convenient for you and not necessarily for your child. So you can spend your time fitting on this rather than having to fit on your little child, which is really useful. And also, if you do dressmaking for various different children, obviously you can change the size of the model so that it accurately represents the child that you are making for. This one comes the same as the other ones, with a really nice little hem guide down at the bottom as well. So you've got that, and it has all the changes the same as the usual pack. So it's got the chest, the waist, the hips, and also underneath as well you can change the ratio of the nape to waist. So it's really versatile. So that is our junior model. This one is our male body form from Adjustoform. There is only one male body form, and this is the one, so you can change bust, waist and hips. But what's really nice about this one is it has the leg features, which mean that you can fit trousers on this form. Some of the other female ones don't have that feature, some of them do, but that really helps fitting the male body form. So this is the smallest size it will go to, but you can see that you could extend it out by making it bigger and just extending it out around these areas here. And you just extend them all equally to get a larger shape at that point. So it's really easy to make the changes. It's a fabulous starting point, and the aspect of being able to fit your trousers is brilliant on this model. The size chart for this model is shown on the screen below, so take a look at that, and that gives you all the information about the size range for the male Adjustoform. Okay, we are next going to look at the female dress models, which are behind me here. We've got 6 of those, and let's talk through the differences. Okay, so as we look at these 6 models, you can see they are obviously all different colours, and they have a few different features, but fundamentally they all do the same thing, which is they all adjust to your body shape. Some of them have wheels like this, so that you can just press that and turn it out to open it up and to change the shape. And other ones, like this one and also this one, just have a little dial. So you simply move it down in order to open up the circumference of the garment, or turn the dial up to reduce the circumference of the garment. So that's fundamentally one difference between all the models. Either you're going to have a wheel or you're going to have a dial to make the changes to the circumference of the garment. The other thing to note is that they all have slightly different size ranges. Now all of them, these are all the medium range that you can see behind me, size range, and within the medium size range you're then going to have a range of different sizes you can expand and contract to, but each of those models will also come potentially in a small, medium, large or even extra large as well. So we'll talk through those in a second as we look at each one individually. The other thing you're going to notice is that some of them have trouser capacity. So this one here, which is our leg form adjuster form, and this one here, which is the Olivia, you can see they've both got leg shapes here, which means you can fit trousers on those models. Okay, so most of the adjuster forms are created in the same way, as in the fundamental structure of how they're created, the materials that are used are very, very similar. These first 5 are all created almost practically in the same way with the same type of material, and they feel the same, as in they have the same sort of weight to them. However, this one here feels much heavier. She has a wooden frame, so she's a lot heavier and she just feels a bit more robust. She's sort of standing there quite nice and firm. So again, that's a difference between them in terms of how they're constructed. Now that we've looked at the general differences between all of those 6 dress models for the female body form, let's take a look at each one individually so you can really decide which one would be best for you. We're going to start off with the basic range down here and work our way up to the higher range over here. So we're going to look at this one first, which is our tailor-made model. So this is the tailor-made. She comes with all the things you would expect an adjuster form to come with. She has the capacity to change at her bust, waist and also hips. She's got 3 dials to adjust her hips and 4 dials for the waist and the bust. Her neck will also change shape as well. She hasn't got legs, as in you can't fit trousers on her, but you can obviously fit a dress or a skirt and the top as well. She does also come with the hem tool here, which is fabulous. However, this one has the most reduced size range of the whole of the adjuster form. This model only comes in a medium and a small. So if you check out the size chart below, you can see the range that she comes in. So if you fit into that size range and this one will work for you, that's amazing. She does all the sorts of things that you want to, but again, she doesn't have the larger size ranges for this particular model. So the tailor-made is the sort of entry-level one. The next level up is our Supa fit, which is this one right here. This one is the original one that Adjustoform created. So she has some beautiful features. She comes being able to change the bust, waist, and obviously the hips, as well as the neckline. She comes with a really nice little pin head up at the top, so you can pop your pins in at that point, which just really helps as you're fitting the model and trying to get different sort of garments and fabric onto her. You can just pin into her really easily and just pop it up there. So really convenient, nice little feature that she has compared to some of the other models, in fact compared to any of the other models. We'll pop the size range up on the screen now, and as you can see, the Supa Fit dress form comes in an extra small, small, medium or large. Now the Supa Fit is a fantastic model, but she doesn't do trouser fitting. So if you're looking for trouser fitting, let's look at the next model. So this is the Supa Fit, which we've just looked at. She obviously doesn't have trousers, and you can see on this one, which is the So Deluxe dress form with legs, the leg form version, they're both practically the same in terms of shape, aren't they, in the way that they work. The only difference is this one has got the leg feature. Now what that means is that you can fit trousers on the So Deluxe, but you cannot fit trousers on the Supa Fit. With the So Deluxe, you can fit trousers. I'm just going to show you how you do that. So usually on a dress form, as you'll see behind me, the pole is always centered on the center of the dress form. What that means though is that if you're trying to fit trousers and pull trousers up over the pole, it's not going to work, is it? Because one leg's going to be a bit skew-if. So Adjustoform have done this really smart thing where you can actually take the model off. And inside here, you'll see she comes with two different pole positions. One right in the middle and one off to the side. So if we insert her onto the support pole, which is off to the side, like this, you'll see now that she has got a pole to one side, which means you can pull on trousers over her, pop her onto the pole, and then the pole basically acts as a leg. So what you're going to get then is a lovely fit, and you're going to be able to see how everything's fitting over the hips and up to the waist. So that is a really clever feature that this one does, which is the So Deluxe, and also the Olivia over here, which I'll talk you through in a few minutes. Now, as usual, the So Deluxe also comes with a lovely little hemming tool, and as we discussed, you can raise or lower that to whatever height you want. So a great little feature to have. Now, the Diana has the largest size range of all of the models. Take a look at those on the screen right now, and you'll see that she has a range between the extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. So when you're choosing a size, you want to check which one matches your body size the best and order the extra small, small, medium, large, or extra large depending on the size that you require. So as well as having the biggest size range, the Diana also has these really easy to use feature dials, so you can really clearly see what number and what circumference range you're aiming for as you play about with those. They're just really easy to see, and they're set up really nicely all the way around. Now again, as per usual, you can change the neck circumference, and you can also raise or drop her waistline depending on what you need. Okay, so these first four fall into Adjustoform's classic range, and then we have the premium range, which is the final two that we're going to look at. This is the Olivia Adjustoform. She is right at the top of the range. She's a premium Adjustoform model, and she is the most feature-rich dress form of the Adjustoform series. I'll drop the size range up on the screen now, and you'll see that she comes in a size extra small, small, medium, and large. So again, take a screen grab of the Olivia dress form size range here if you want to consider which size range you need, and make sure when you're ordering from the website that you select the right model size for your requirements. Okay, so what does she do that is so amazing? Well, she comes with all the standard features, so you can change the circumference of the bust, waist, and hips, but she also has the leg features, which are really nice. You will see that she comes with two poles again, so that's the medium one, and this is the one if you want to fit the trouser legs that you insert onto the pole. So that's a great feature to be able to fit trousers as well. And the other thing that she has, which is different to all the other models, is that she comes with caster wheels. Now, this is a really helpful feature if you're trying to move her around your studio and it's just easy to lift and move. You can just drag her across the room, move her around, and it's really nice and simple. She also comes with the hem adjuster, which is here. So that's a standard feature across all of the models except for the white one over here, which is the Lady Valet. So yeah, she has all those beautiful features. Now we've looked at all of those ones, let's take a look at the Lady Valet next. The Lady Valet dress form really does look something quite beautiful, doesn't she? She feels a little bit different as well. She feels more sturdy, and the reason is that she has this gorgeous walnut wood feature at the top, and also this stand down here is also made of wood. So she has a really lovely wooden feature there and just looks really glam. So she really has that premium vintage appeal. She's going to look amazing in your workshop, in your sewing space, and she does all the normal things that you'd expect the Adjustoform to do: bust, waist, hips, and also you can adjust her nape to waist ratio by dropping the lower part of the body down. It is worth saying that due to her construction, due to the wooden stand at the bottom, she does not have one of the hem adjusters down at the bottom. So that is one feature that this one doesn't have. Although she looks gorgeous and she's doing everything else that all the other models are doing, she doesn't have the hem adjuster feature. Okay, so let's take a look at her stand in more detail. So if we take off the top, you can see that the pole underneath is a gorgeous walnut stand. It does feel nice and sturdy, and it looks absolutely beautiful. The Lady Valet only comes as a dress form. She doesn't have the trouser feature like the Olivia or the So Deluxe. So she is just for dresses and skirts. Let's take a look at her size range now, which is going to pop up on the screen now. And as you can see, she comes in the standard range of the extra small, small, medium, and large. Okay, so now we've looked at the differences between all of those 8 models, zooming in really closely on those 6 female models. Let's take a look at how to choose the right size for you. As mentioned, they all have a slightly different size range. We popped them up on the screen previously, but you now need to know which one you should buy. So let's take a look at how to measure our body and then how to choose the right size. As you'll see on the size charts for each of the models, you need to know your bust, waist and hips. So in order to measure your bust, grab a tape measure and wrap it around your bust, around the widest part. Pop 2 fingers in between the tape measure and your body, breathe in, hand out again, and just make sure you can keep running those 2 fingers between your body and the tape measure and that it is nice and snug but not too tight, and take that measurement. Next, our waist is in between our hips and our bust. If you're not sure exactly where that is, just bend slightly to one side and you'll feel a little kink in your body where your hip bone and your ribs are. So just in between the hip bone and the ribs, bend to the other side and you'll find that nice and comfortably. Grab your tape measure, wrap it around your waist at that point. Again, fit 2 fingers between your body and the tape measure, breathe in, hand out again, and there you have it. And finally, your hip measurement is usually about 20 centimeters below your waist. For everyone, it will be somewhere slightly different. It's basically the widest part between your waist and the floor. So wiggle your tape measure up and down until you find that perfect width where you've got the widest circumference. Fit 2 fingers between the tape measure and your body. Keep the tape measure nice and straight and take that measurement. So let's take a look at the size chart now. Let's say, for example, that our bust is 100 centimeters, so we're fitting it into the medium size range for that. Our waist is, let's say, 80 centimeters, and we're fitting really comfortably into the medium, but our hips are coming in at around 128 centimeters. What that means is our hips are dropping into the large size for the Adjustoform. It's just a little bit too big to fit into the medium. Now at this point, what we'd recommend is that you choose the smaller size for your Adjustoform and that you size down. The reason why you do this is because you want to make sure everything is going to fit on your Adjustoform. And then if you can fit your bust and your waist, well then you can just pad out your hips. You can take the hip out to the largest circumference it will go, and then you can just use some padding to make it as big as you need to reflect your own body shape. We've not yet looked at how to actually adjust the Adjustoforms. Now they're all adjusted in a very similar way, so let's take a look together at how to adjust the form and the best way to do it, just so you can get a nice little overview on how to make those changes you're going to need to tailor your Adjustoform to fit your body beautifully. Okay, we'll start to look at how to make the changes to the Diana. If you need to make big changes, we would recommend opening up the neck to start off with. So you can push this down on this model and then twist. So she's opening up slightly up at the top, and she can open up a little bit more. Next, we're just going to increase the bust to 104 at all points. So we're just gradually, 104 centimeters, we're just gradually increasing her size at that point. Next, we'll do the same down at the waist and take her up 1 notch. And we can do the same down at the hips as well. So what we're doing here is just fundamentally changing gradually at each point. So now she's got an even distribution of changes. Let's say your waist is 104 and you're happy with that. It's always worth just wrapping a tape measure around and just double check that that is the dimension that you're expecting as well. Now, if you have a large bust that the model doesn't kind of reflect in terms of her proportion and her profile, what we do recommend is that you base the chest dimensions or the bust dimensions on your high bust measurement. So make that change to the high bust, and if you're measuring the high bust on your body, that's the one that goes over the top of your bust, underneath your armpits and all the way around. So base the chest on that dimension so that you've got the correct dimension here. and then go and grab one of your own bras and pad it out so that you've then got the shape that you need around the bust. Now, if you do need to pad out the chest in any way, what you might find really helpful is to use some of these little padded bra features that you can then pop onto the model just to create that shape that you need. And obviously these come in different sizes on our website. So this is the medium, there's also the small, and there's a range of different sizes. So that will really help you tailor the fit up here in the bust area. If it's an area around the hips that you need to make bigger, then I'm using these sorts of items, which is the Prim shoulder pads, and there's lots of different types of them. These ones are a bit more kind of thicker and a bit more substantial. This is a little bit more softer, and you can see that you could just literally pop that on and it's going to start to give you a nice smooth finish. So you can start to play around with how those sit on your body. And if you're needing a big change, you can also use cotton batting and wrap that around the model in order to increase the overall circumference. One more thing you might want to do with your model is just to check the length of the torso. So you can take a measurement from your nape, which is that little bone that sticks out at the top of your neck up here, all the way down to your waistline. And whatever that measurement is, you want to find the corresponding length on your model down to the waist. Now the waist is this break point here between the upper and the lower section of the body. So this one is designed at around 40 centimeters. Let's say, for example, yours is 43 centimeters. We're then going to drop this down so that the waist is lowered. And we do that really simply on the inside. Let me show you. So on the inside of the Adjustoform, you'll notice you've got two dials. You've got the lower one, which attaches in onto the pole, and then you have this second one on the inside right here. And that is the one that we want to play around with. So we're going to loosen that second screw up at the top up there. And what that's going to do is it's going to then allow us to drop the body when we put it back on. Okay, so now we've got the model back on the stand. All we're going to do is to loosen that top screw, and then we can literally just pull that lower section of the body down until it's extended by the length that you need it to be extended by. For me, I just wanted to extend it 2 centimeters. So I'm just going to shift it up a little bit and then just tighten the screw on the inside. And there we have it. What we've done then is basically lengthen the torso so that the waistline is now down here rather than being 2 centimeters higher as it was on the original model. Thank you for joining me today. I've been Izzy at Minerva. We've been looking at our Adjustoforms, and I hope you found that really helpful and educational, and it's really enabled you to be able to pick the right Adjustoform for your needs at home. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.